and in utilization review. Let's talk about care analysis. All right, if a patient has the urinalysis that I mentioned, just the basic pee in a cup, do some reagent strips in it, or they have a urinalysis with microscopy. What is a urinalysis with microscopy? Something looked under the microscope? Okay, that's a all right. So is that a more intensive urinalysis than when you just put the strip in the cup?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Is it necessary that everybody that has a urinalysis has a urinalysis with microscopy?
No.
No. But what if we looked at Dr. A and we saw that every urinalysis he ever did was one with microscopy, and we looked at Dr. B and we saw that he never did the microscopy? What are the things that you're beginning to be suspicious about?
That he's trying to up his cost.
Oh, he's trying to up his cost because he's doing everyone with microscopy, when we know it's not necessary. Now, if we think it might be for urinary tract infection, might you need the microscopy then?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're just doing a pee in a cup as a part of the general exam, you don't really need that microscopy, do you? Oh, so is that telling us some things about utilization and care trends?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this doc over here is trying to milk the system a little bit, doing unnecessary procedures? Okay. It is crucial for reimbursement because many third-party payers are going to pay you on the basis of principal diagnosis. One of those third-party payers is Medicare. Medicare started in 1983 reimbursing hospitals by way of DRGs, or diagnosis-related groups. You're going to know that up one side and down the other. All right, poof, every one of you all is now 65 years old. What does that automatically mean? You're covered by Medicare. All right, each one of you fractured your leg in identically the same place. You, however, stayed in the hospital for 45 days. Okay? You, however, stayed in the hospital for 15. And unfortunately, you stayed in the hospital for 30 minutes because you died. Under DRGs, if you all have the same principal diagnosis, how much do you all get paid? The same thing. The identical same thing. Unless there are some extenuating circumstances like cost or time outliers, meaning you stayed there for a very long time. Wait a minute. Hot dog, we won on you, didn't we? You died in 30 minutes and we got a lot of money. You were here for 45 days, so did we probably win on you? No, we probably lost money on you. The point being is that DRGs are based on a system of averages. So with calculations that have been done, your hospital is going to get the average of the reimbursement for somebody with that type of fractured leg. Now, we don't want you to die, and because you died very quickly, there's an organization called the PRO that's probably going to look at your care and see if it was okay that you died, if somebody did something they shouldn't have. Okay, but poof, now you're a hospital administrator. Do you want Medicare patients to come in and stay and stay and stay?
No.
What do you want to happen?
Them to go home.
You want them to go home. And how quickly do you want them to go home?
As soon
As soon
as possible.
as possible. Why?
Because I'm going to get paid no more, no less.
That's right. I'm going to get paid no more, no less. So if I can get you in and out of here, then I've got a better margin for potential profit, don't I? All right. Why, in 1983, did that system start? Unless you've been around as long as I have, you're kind of thinking, that doesn't make sense. All right. When I was in school to be an RHIA, my grandmother was elderly. And she had 5 boys, and she would visit from home to home. It seemed like she always got sick with us. What that says about our family. But anyway, I learned that every time my grandmother went to the hospital, she was Medicare aged, that she was going to stay for 12 days. No matter what, she was going to stay for 12 days. If she did happen to make it and have to stay beyond the 12th day, I began to learn she was going to stay 18 days. And if by some chance she had to stay longer than 18 days, I already knew she wasn't going to come home before the 30th day. And let me tell you why. It was called utilization review. It was the method that Medicare patients were reviewed to see how long they could be in the hospital. The physician was not questioned until the, which day?
30.
Back up.
12.
12th day. That patient could stay from 1 to 12 days and nobody was going to say anything because Medicare didn't have a rule. But on the 12th day, the doctor had to justify whether grandma needed to stay any longer. So if he couldn't say that she needed the continued care, he had to send her home. So that's why she went home on the 12th day. But if he could justify that why she needed more care beyond the 12th day, now you tell me what day she went home. 18th day. Why? Because we could get that money, nobody's going to question us. And if she did happen to stay beyond the 18th day, what day was she going home?
30th.
On the 30th. Why didn't they send her home on the 19th or the 20th or the 21st? Because they were still going to get the money from Medicare and nobody was going to question it. If I'm going to pay you to clean my house, okay, and I'm going to pay you $100 to do it, whether you can do it in 1 hour, 2 hours, or 10 hours, what are you going to do? You're going to be there just as little as you can to get the job done, aren't you? So there was no incentive under that type of Medicare utilization review to get the patient out. Now with this DRG payment, is there incentive?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Get them in, get them out. So we have the PRO, which is the watchdog, the peer review organization that looks over our shoulder to make sure that we have not released patients too rapidly. Because do we ever send patients home now before they need to go home, perhaps? Sometimes it happens, it sure does. Okay, there's a lot of explanation about the after study. There are 4 bullet marks on page 22. Let's take a look at them. We've got a patient admitted with urinary retention. May prove to have hypertrophy of the prostate, which is causing the urinary retention. In this case, the prostatic hypertrophy is the principal diagnosis unless treatment was directed only to the urinary retention. Okay, they're holding their urine. They cannot urinate because their bladder is retaining it. Their bladder is retaining it because their prostate is swollen and pushing in on the urethra. So their bladder's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, if I come in because I'm retaining urine and all you do is put in a catheter and allow the urine to escape, well, that's one thing. But if you come in because the prostate is enlarged,